Recently, I saw an interview of a Jew that survived the Holocaust, but it's a different type of story. There were many Jews that lived in Poland, and they had choices either to stay in Poland or to run to Russia, to escape. So they chose to go over the border to Russia. I said this story on Shabbat, and somebody in the Shi'ur, we have a doctor, he's an Ashkenaz guy, he said, my father was this guy. My father, you're telling the story of my father. So they went to Russia. But when you got to Russia, you might have got saved from the Nazis, but you had to deal with Stalin. When you come over the border in Russia, the Russians tell you your body can stay, but leave your religion behind. There's no religion here. This is a godless country. Leave your tefillin, leave your kashrut, leave all your divineness behind. The Jews had to make this decision. So they get into Russia, and immediately they put them on a train. And the train goes for 3 weeks, and they don't know where they're going. Finally, they go all the way to the border of Russia, to a place that's on the border of a place called Irkutsk. We know it better as Siberia. And the guy says, when I got off the train, it was 65 degrees below zero. And now we have to live here. They didn't give us fur coats. We're living with regular coats. And he goes along and says how they lived in Siberia. He says, we knew we were Jewish and we weren't going to let the Russians take away our Yahadut. And he says, you know, my father used to wear tefillin every day. Now you say, oh, what's so difficult? You know what it is to lift up your sleeve in 65 degrees? He says his hand was blue, but he didn't miss a day of tefillin. That's Mesirut Nefesh. He says, and then my father, eventually this man's father froze to death in Siberia. And they buried him in Siberia in some remote place of the world. But he says, he told his son, it's Sukkot, he made a calendar for the Jewish people. He made a calendar. He said, it's Sukkot, you have to sit in the Sukkah. He says, Pa, we're exempt. It's 65 below zero. You don't have to sit in the Sukkah. He said, we're sitting in the Sukkah. He says, my father said, I just have to eat the kazayra bread. Went into the Sukkah, and after he finishes his bread, he tells his son, bring me the Mayim Maharonim. So I went into the barracks, and I found some water. By the time I brought it out, it was frozen, the water. That's Mesirut Nefesh. He says, we kept all the mitzvot under the worst conditions. And then the war was over, we left Siberia. Most of them froze to death, but a lot of them got out alive, and they still remained Jewish and religious. The Mishnah says in Pirkei Avot, Kol ha'mekayem et haTorah me'oni, sofa lekayema me'osher. Anybody that keeps the Torah in poverty eventually will keep the Torah in wealth. My dear friends, we have gone through that Mishnah of keeping the Torah through poverty. That was the Holocaust. After the Holocaust, we came to America. This is keeping the Torah through wealth. But you still need the same Mesirut Nefesh. It might not be Mesirut Nefesh to live under Stalin, or to sit in sub-zero temperatures, or to risk your life to put on tefillin, or to dress modestly. It's a different Mesirut Nefesh. Today our challenges are different. It's to overcome all the Yetzer Hara, the desires, today's desires, the desire du jour, the desire of the day, whatever it may be. It's still Mesirut Nefesh, but it's me'osher. Today we don't have anybody putting a gun to our head or marching us onto cattle car trains. It's a different Mesirut Nefesh. It's the Mesirut Nefesh of luxury, living a life of freedom. This is the challenge of our time. Lekayem et haTorah me'osher.